Hello, it's Fran Davidson from psychicandenergywork.com.au, and this is part 4 of my monthly observations for February 2026. If you go through to my website, psychicandenergywork.com.au, to the monthly observations page, you'll notice that I've written a bit there about February. In each section, there are 4 major ones, just as there are 4 videos that I post. In each section, I write a little bit about the numerology that's presenting at the level of focus. So this video focuses on this month's reality numbers. February every year brings us a 44, which reduces to 8. In 2026, we also see a 2165, which reduces to 5. Now, the fact that we have 44, 8 and 5s appearing at this level of the chart is telling. Why do I say that? Because 4, in part, is about preparation. It's about get ready. Get everything ready. Get the floor ready. Get the space ready. Get you ready on all the levels you need to. And it's not just get ready as in, brush your hair and clean your teeth and put your clothes on. It's also get ready as in develop the frameworks, or make sure that you have the frameworks in place that are going to welcome in that which you know should be on its way. And even if you're not sure about what's supposed to be on its way, you've got the right frameworks, you've got the right systems and habits, you've got the right mindset, assumptions, expectations of yourself, of the universe, of life, of others. Because the more we do that, the more we get out of life's way and let life deliver in a way that we can engage with it. Because life on one level, we're talking manifesting an energy, it asks us to partner well with flow, to partner well with source in a way that it's not that we become, should we say, subservient in a way that we release all power or we release all choice or ability to act. But at the same time, we don't place ourselves, perceive ourselves as being the only influence. It's all down to me. I've got to do everything. I'm all alone. And it's very easy for egoic self, especially when life's full, to slip into those mantras, even if it wasn't doing it before. 44 tells us get ready. And because, again, mid-month, this month, Lunar New Year kicks in, Year of Fire Horses, we are being perfectly positioned and therefore really well helped, not that's good English, to get ready for Fire Horse's start. Fire Horse could really kick things off for you, for me, for everybody. The trick with that, as I've mentioned a couple of times in the other videos and also on the website, is not engaging with that in a way that breeds drama. Drama, reactivity, pettiness, just small-mindedness. The job is always to come back to what can be known and not just operate from what you know now. There's nothing wrong with that, as in what you know now, but it's not necessarily the big picture. So the dare is to take a moment, breathe, release, and choose to reconnect with a level of guidance, with a level of energy that can really add value in a way that still gives you the choice to run in whichever direction you wish to. 5 is act. The fact that at reality number, so reality number tells us the ultimate end states that we're going to arrive at within the period in question. So the fact that we have 4 and 5, and in a sense, this video is covering off stuff that I sort of planned to cover off in video 3, but didn't quite get to perhaps, so there you go. But 4 feeds into 5, of course it does, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But numerologically, as a cycle of flow, it does too. That sort of makes sense. But what am I saying? 4 is prepare the ground, do the groundwork, quality check things, make sure everything is as reinforced as it needs to be by quality. Make sure everything is quality so that you don't get halfway through your next step to find things falling off or falling over or just not being there. So 4 is analyze, 4 is review, 4 is take time out and just brainstorm for a minute. Because as we do so, not necessarily because we have to brainstorm, it could just be, you know what, take time out, breathe, let go of where you've been, let go of where you're at, not because you devalue it, but because by letting go, we create the space for guidance to drop in, to add value, to enhance, and even to overhaul what we were just entertaining. By getting our base right, we are best in position to take off. So 4 is sort of get the base ready, get the foundations in place so that everything that wants to kick in after that moment can kick in a way that it can rely on whatever it did at 4. And that's a really interesting word, rely, because on one sense too, that is a theme that's surfacing this month or out of this month's chart. And again, if you look at the rest of the numbers and the fact that, again, 2s are high relative to 1s, master numbers are there, fire horse, all of these things suggest that relying on, who can you rely on, what should you rely on, who should you rely on, and of course, really, at the most fundamental level, it's yourself. That's an interesting statement because yourself shouldn't be a state where there is no guidance, where there is no source, where there is no big picture. And so really on one level, this dialogue takes us right back to the beginning of our intuitive development or our spirituality, our choice to live spiritually and intuitively. And that is the question of, what are you choosing to tune into? And how are you defining that? Because at the end of the day, we have choice in everything. We can choose the level we dial into as guidance, as the frequency and state we want to live in and amongst and offer to others and receive. Those things ideally are all one and the same thing. In other words, you're not getting 4 levels of answer there. It's not, hello, I have to choose what I want to receive from, and then I have to choose what I want to offer the world, and then I have to choose. It's not like that, unless, of course, you want to make it like that or you believe it should be. Everything, goodness, comes with its own feeling, and we know that feeling when it presents. It presents as peace, it presents as rightness, it presents as yes. It presents as perfection. It just feels right. That is spiritual guidance. Any other state or level of intuitive, what could be called messaging or offering, tends to come with a certain level of push-pull and or tension and or negativity or bias. The minute those things feature, we are getting a message that we haven't gone high enough in our receiving, in our decision to receive, so as to be assured that we're receiving the biggest of picture, the most holistic of download, and therefore the sort of guidance that benefits everybody, looks after everybody, and mentors us on the way as well. 5, coming back to the reality number, the specific reality number for this month, is in one sense, just do it. Just do it. It's that space that allows us to just get on. We don't need to think about it anymore. We did all the thinking back at 4. So 5 is that place that allows us to just hit the ground running because we've done 4 well. So what is the message there? The message is, again, use this month. Because the lunar year has yet to kick in, we are still getting ready to engage with 2026 as an energetic, spiritual, and manifesting phase. And the more we know that, it's not a case of just rest on your laurels, don't do anything until mid-month, but is very much know that in one sense the year is still on its way to your front door. It's still on its way to your awareness in a way that you can really make sense of it, or even that you feel like you're really engaging with it. Because often the period between December 31 and Lunar New Year, it is a time that, you're right, the year's started, but it hasn't really. And in one sense, that makes sense, because often that period, or the bulk of it, is a time when people are still on holiday, businesses are still shut, everybody's still waiting to get back into gear. So for all sorts of reasons, the fact that the reality number this month revolves around 44 and therefore 8, 44-8 means do all the research to get to the clarity of vision and purpose, mission and strategy that you're going to be asked to activate into next. So have a lovely time. This month is due to be energizing if you allow it to be. It is due to be full, irrespective of whether you want it, but really that needn't be a problem. What matters is you breathe, you ground, you let go of everything, including yourself, on a regular basis, not because you reject, but because you know that the more you allow higher intelligence and therefore bigger picture to present in a way that guides you, the more it will. And then off you truck. Take good care. Have a lovely month. Tune in halfway through if you wish to my monthly update that comes out about 15, 16, 17 of February. And of course, again, get in contact if you need a hand, if you'd like a reading, like some energy work, or if you'd like to develop intuitively. Travel well. Thanks very much for tuning in. Let me know how these videos come across. Take care.